Doing my video series on the correspondence team match played between my video lessons group and the team CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 178. Our man is Nacer 222A versus Pigley 2002. And our man is rated low 1600s versus low 1400s. Anyway, a lot of mistakes here. Let's have a look and see what we can uncover. We're immediately out of book in record time. I love it. Now, what would you do with black here? Is white trying to checkmate you? Well, one way to stop that and protect c5 is just move your e6 pawn up, and this queen will be a target. But black finds a novel approach. He develops a piece and gives up his pawn. And white takes it, but black gets it right back. Okay. And then black anchors his knight in. Here comes a check. Boy, I'm lagging. Queen d4. Now, here, black plays a6. I would just develop something. What would I develop? Well, I might consider f6 with the idea of trying to play e5 and chase your queen out. Or I might play bishop d7. Well, maybe not. That hangs d5. Okay, so a6 is probably okay. And now the d-pawn has a little more protection. Black decides to keep his knight on the board. And now black wants to fianchetto his bishop. White threatens to win a pawn. Black covers it. Boy, this thing is just jumping all over the place. So, wow, I hit once and it makes two moves. Okay, well, both sides are developing, which is good. And now white comes up with a plan. He wants to trade off black's fianchetto bishop. But there was a problem with this. And black didn't see it. Okay, so right here, let's see, I didn't play. Okay, let's back that up. That's what black played. Black missed a win of a piece right here. The queen is overworked. It's protecting the bishop and stopping a fork. So if black plays d4, that forces this knight to take. Now you can see what I mean by overworked. Black just picks up the bishop. White takes back. And black has won a piece, just like that. So, got to look at these active moves, threats, captures, and checks. You'd be surprised what you could find. So, black doesn't see this. And instead plays c5. And now knight d2, and black misses knight g4 here. Knight g4 is a fork. It attacks the queen, and it attacks the bishop. Now you might ask, why didn't he do that last move instead of the d4? Well, I'll show you why. Yeah, you can do it, but it seems that white can do a little counterplay of his own. He can come down here and hit that bishop, and then either save his bishop or take this one. That's what c5 did. c5 stopped the queen from coming down to a7. But here, black has missed two wins of a piece. So let me get to the right position. Knight e2. Okay. And he misses knight g4. He opts for d4. And now the trick is gone on g4. Okay. So white's achieved his objective. He's got rid of that fianchetto bishop, which really wasn't all that good of a piece because it's blocked in. But that's what he wanted to do. And this move just allows black to cripple the pawn structure in front of white's castle king. A little pressure on the pawn. Go tickle the queen. And now black wants to get his rook into play. Send it over probably to f6. And here I guess black didn't want to take en passant and weaken this square. Get that knight into play. It's okay, but it's just funny he went all the way back to d8. I guess he's still trying to get the rook over here. And white promptly blunders. Queen e4. attacking the rook. Well, the problem is you're running into a hurdle, an X-ray, a skewer. The rook just attacks the queen, and the queen can't protect the knight. So rather than go down a piece, white decides to go down a queen for a rook. I don't understand that. But I guess maybe because he got his pawns undoubled, he thought it was okay. So that's just a routine win. But I don't think black played the most aggressive way here. Wow, just clicking forward like crazy. Okay, queen to e7. Okay, looks like black's doing fine here. But here he needs to play f5. Why? Because he can. You want to open up the board so you can get the last of the rooks off and soften up the white king a little bit. It's just called for. Instead, black retreats his queen. Well, last time he did that, white blundered. Maybe he will again. I don't know. So pressure on the F file. Black covers it. And as going through this game the first time, I'm thinking, my God, maybe white's going to set up a blockade and black can't crash through. But it wasn't to be. He just promptly hung a rook. And at this point, white lost both games on time. But let's go back. Let's see how close was white close to getting a blockade? Probably not. There's probably going to be a break. For the moment, okay, this is black's break, and that'll probably do it. But let's try this. Try to blockade this. Okay, G5 or G4, A4. Here, we're going to give up a pawn. Okay. Now, I'm going to come over here and protect that pawn. Now the question is, how does black make progress? Well, it should be easy enough in time. Let's see. I start with H6, and white's kind of left kind of in a zugzwang position, unless he can bring this rook in and try to blockade. But that frees the black rook, and then all kinds of mating threats happen. I mean, this would have lasted white a little longer. Let's see. Suppose you move the king. Okay, I got rid of that. Now I got a new. Now I can activate my queen, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of nuisance value in here for white. Check. Okay, let's see. What can I say? Maybe white had a chance to blockade this position. I'd have to sit and work on this. Well, actually, I don't think it's going to last long. Queen D2. Let's drive this king up here. And let's see. Now I think I'm getting somewhere. Queen H2. The idea is to check and pick this pawn off. Okay, so let's see. White needs to go here. And now we've got the rook released. I mean, the rooks aren't doubled anymore. Let's check over here. Now you've got to put the pressure back on. Okay, so let's see. Fascinating, huh? This wasn't forced. I'm just kind of playing around, but you know, the instinct in me said, you know, when white hung the rook was that maybe because black didn't play f5 and white went and occupied f6, maybe white can blockade this thing. And you know, you'd be surprised what kind of things can happen. Black could even get himself accidentally mated here, or at least a perpetual check. See, his rook on e2 is pinned, or not on e2. It's pinned. On, the f3 is pinned by the queen on e2. But this looks like a perpetual check. See, if it weren't for the pin, you know, this rook is mate. So how's black? I've got this far. I'm kind of wanting to go a little further and see how does white get or black get out of this. Probably the way to do it is transfer the queen over to protect e2 or f7 and then free the rook. So let's do it this way. Okay, well, what's it? Why does it take it back to the beginning? My goodness, please get version 3. I did not do this. It just did it itself. It set it back. Okay, you saw it. I didn't touch anything. Okay, queen a2. White gets to shuffle his rooks around. Okay, now I've got f7 covered. That frees the rook. Here comes the rook. Okay. And now it looks like black's going to win. Okay, let's move on to the next game. What move will it start it at when I load the game? It's always fun to see what move this thing starts at, because it rarely starts at move 1 like it's supposed to. And when I say that, it starts at a move 1 like it's supposed to. Good job. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Philidor defense. d4 is the most common move, but this is fine. It develops a piece. Violating the rule knights before bishops. But this is passive. Bishop c4 is aggressive. The pin that black has doesn't mean much at all. Okay, so anyway, look at that. There's that h6 move. Why are you playing this move? It does nothing. White's not putting anything on g5. I see this so many times. Now white's threatening a fork. Black stops that. And now black nicely develops the white queen. Why do you develop white's queen? Okay, why? Guys need to read Nimzovich. Don't make exchanges that develops your opponent's pieces. Make exchanges that develop yours. Let me show you an example of, okay, if we'll get to the right spot. Okay, we don't know if white's going to take here or not, but suppose white wants his queen on d4. I'm doing this for illustrative purposes. Okay, suppose black just developed a piece in this position. Now suppose white took and put his queen on d4. Okay? Now, this is the position with black to play. The way the game went, this was the position with black to play. Now, what changed? Absolutely nothing with white's game. Nothing. White got what he wanted, queen d4 in. But let's look at it the way well, yeah, now I'm back in the position. This is the way. What changed with black's game? Let's see. We find it here in the PGN. Look at black's games, how it changes. His pawn went to b7, and he got a knight out. And in both cases, he got a knight out. In both cases, it's black's move. So, there it is. The proof is there. You gain, and it's like giving your opponent a 10-20 yard head start in a 100-yard dash race. You bring his pieces out, they're going to be there to get in play later. And because they're getting into play later, you may not get a quick win you might have. You may even lose the game because your opponent got his pieces out. So development's very important. Okay, so knight f6. Let's find the right spot. Which way did he take? He took... No, that didn't happen. Dang it. Knight takes d4, developing the white queen. Now knight f6. And I don't know exactly why white played this. The bishop had a diagonal to come out on. I guess he decided he wanted to fianchetto it. A6. Another rook pawn move. What good does this move do? White's not putting anything on b5, and if he did, it's not going anywhere. You're wasted. 2 moves wasted. You could have had this bishop here and been castled. Okay? Bishop f3. Now black creates a weakness on d6. Boy, it's just accelerating things. Now maybe we see the point of h6. He wants to get g5 in, but black's king isn't safe. It's still in the center. White needs to break this position open, and that's exactly what he does. And right now, White's pretty much got a clear advantage and should win easily. Black blunders, and White returns the favor. Okay, the winning move is just take this pawn. Bishop takes b7. Now you've got a twin threat of taking this and taking this. And Black must give material. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Instead, White captures a piece and forcing Black to take a piece. Now, how can an exchange of piece be better than winning a minimum of an exchange? Okay, it gets a pawn for it, I suppose. But get the heavy material when you can. And now White fianchettos his bishop. See, that was his plan all along. Maybe he figured it would protect that pawn, keep it there. But also blocks your bishop in. And now Black decides he doesn't want the queen on c7 after all. So he lost a tempo there. Now White goes and threatens a knight fork. Black covers it. And White's next move is kind of puzzling. I don't understand. If you're going to move this rook, if you were going to move this rook, where would you put it? Here, here, or here? B1, C1, or D1? Well, I think most of you would put it on D1. Well, they put it on C1. I don't quite understand why it's going to C1. You're trying to protect a pawn that's not attacked. Well, how does this rook get in the game? Anyway, I just comment on the moves as I see them. Try to figure things out. Now White decides that knight on c3 doesn't belong, or belongs on c3. The one move fork threat wasn't worth it. Now Black develops his bishop and forces White to put the rook where it belonged already. So both sides are being generous to each other. And now Black decides he's going to pressure this pawn and shut off the open file that he had set up. Okay, so White missed a pretty good move here. Knight d5 centralizing was a good move, but this is all right. And here, White misses a nice, simple forcing continuation that, had he analyzed, he might have found. What White plays is knight. He took this bishop, but watch this. Knight takes check. Now, where does the king go? He doesn't want to step into a discovery, so he's going to go over here. And now, what's curious is White can do all kinds of nasty things. Put this bishop in here, threatening all kinds of pins against this. But the simple move to win is just rook takes here. That takes a piece and forces Black to take back. And now comes f7, and look at this pawn. It's a monster pawn, and two of Black's rooks are under attack. And it looks like you're going to queen this pawn here in just a moment. Now, if you take the bishop, I make a queen, right? And White will be up a rook. So had White analyzed his games out, looked at the active moves, he might have found this continuation. So what can I say? Take your time and analyze these things out. That's what I can say. Okay, so he took the knight on g5, and the rook takes e6 is still there, but he doesn't see it. Steady pressures d6. And now here, surprisingly so, rook takes e6 is still there. And even though Black gets a check, Black's running out of moves here. The moment you take back the rook, f7 comes, and this rook is overworked. It's guarding the rook on g2, and it's protecting the queening square. It can't guard both. So White wins. So these are just simple tactics that can be found when you have a nice position, and White wasn't seeing them. So he covered his king and gave up a pawn. Now he decided to take this pawn and simplify into an ending. Wow, just jumping right through the moves. Okay. And Black actually isn't all that bad off. He's only down a pawn, and it's a doubled pawn. Attacks the rook. But here I think it would have been wise not, well, although this pawn could be a nuisance, might have been wise to just exchange on g3.
And after rook e7, though, black's getting in trouble. This move is extremely powerful. Black needed to prevent that with bishop e6. White could have played it a move earlier too, if I recall, but he didn't. But now this check is just deadly. What's black going to do? See the problem with the check is that you're going to take this with discovered check and then pick this off. So, or this pawn is going to fall, and white has a very, very, very potent passed pawn. So anyway, as noted in the other analysis, the other game, black lost this one on time, but we're not expecting perfect chess. We understand that your guys are going to miss tactics, but that's the whole point of correspondence chess. You're supposed to find the tactics that you might miss when you're playing a real game over the board. Why? Because you have the time to analyze the position, and your skill will go up as you study your positions. Your judgment, your analysis, and your tactical wizardry will increase. Anyway, thanks so much for looking, and I'll be back again soon with another. Take care.